That's more like it, Nissan, bringing back some of its heritage. This is the new Nissan Z Nismo. That's basically a high-performance version of the new Z. It's not a crazy difference compared with the standard Z. It's got 11 more kilowatts and around 50 Newton meters more torque from the 3-litre twin-turbo V6 engine. Rear-wheel drive, you can only get it in automatic, at least in Australia. But yeah, more of a sort of cosmetic upgrade with some changes to enhance the handling. I really like the design of the latest model. It would have been a hard thing to do to come up with a new Z design, but I think Nissan has absolutely nailed it. It's got that very low slung, sleek coupe profile. Like even from the side there, it kind of looks like a 180SX, same sort of silhouette. And at the back, it's managed to bring in some tail lights that are inspired by the last generation 300ZX. But then yeah, at the front end, you've got sort of 240Z style headlights, or modern version. And then down below with the Nismo pack, you've got this aftermarket diffuser area, big holes for Canon exhausts. They are upgraded exhausts, but yeah, if you wanted to put aftermarket ones, there's plenty of room there. And then these awesome Rays Engineering Nismo alloy wheels, staggered width, 285 tyres on the back, 10 inches wide, and then 255 tyres on the front. Upgraded brakes behind there as well, bigger calipers, painted red. And you've got the trademark JDM black roof with black side mirrors and some red striping around the lower end of the skirting. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. I know there's going to be some sort of original heritage style fans or traditionalists that don't really like the look of this, but I think it looks really good. As I said, it would have been a hard task to come up with a new hero car, like an iconic model. It's the same with the sort of GTR. It'll be interesting to see what, and if they bring out a new GTR, what it will look like. And then inside, tastefully enhanced. It's got these Recaro bucket seats, Nismo branded. The airbag on the side there. They're very comfortable, but also very supportive. You've got these little Alcantara style sections or suede sections on the steering wheel. And yeah, that's about it. It's pretty much the same standard Z, just the red seats. This is just a strict 2-seater sports car, so you don't have heaps of storage. You've got a couple of trays behind the seats. And then 241 litres of boot space. Kind of a bit weird to open the boot. It's under this Nissan logo, and then this part lifts up, so it's not actually, you go to pull that whole thing up, but it doesn't actually come up. Yeah, 241 litres. It's not a lot of space. It doesn't have much depth. I mean, the camera probably doesn't pick that up very well, but you could just fit in some, you know, carry-on luggage, or you could probably fit one full-size luggage suitcase as long as it's not too thick. You do have some tie-down hooks, a baby seat anchor point, and then underneath a tyre repair kit and some extra little pockets and storage and so on. Sitting inside, it feels pretty good, like it feels like a sports car. I'd like the seat to go a little bit lower, because it kind of feels like I'm sitting too high, but it does give you good visibility no matter how tall you are. So I'm pretty short and I still feel like I could drop down a little bit, but yeah, I don't feel like I'm too sunken in. You know, some sports cars, you sit so low that you've got to jack up the seat a little bit, for people of my height anyway. I love these 3 gauges across the dash, a boost gauge, totally analog, that's cool, and then a pretty basic touch screen. I'll start it up for you. It does have an enhanced exhaust, as I said, but it doesn't sound all that much louder than the standard Z. I mean, it's a little bit of bass there, but it's still got that kind of vacuum cleaner sound. I'd love to hear a proper aftermarket system, because I reckon that sounds pretty choked up. But in saying that, you know, you get vehicles like the Alfa Romeo with the V6, and that sounds really good. It sounds crisp, it's got some pops and bangs and so on. So it is possible to make a V6 sound good in standard form, but knowing the Italians, they probably sneak through some regulations and so on, whereas this is, yeah, you can hear that it's very choked up. I do like the fact that you've got climate control separated out of the screen, but yeah, this is running Nissan's older sort of system. It does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, but it's very basic. Like, look at the graphics, also pretty small. The digital instrument cluster actually looks a lot better. It's got some color there at least. And you can configure this side menu here once you close the door. You've got a boost gauge, tire pressure monitoring, My rear left tyre is a little bit lower than the rest of them, only slightly. G-force meter, and you can go into the settings as well. You do have charging ports, multiple options down there, but no wireless phone charger, and then a cup holder, just a single one for the center console. There are bottle holders, or very shallow bottle holders, in the doors as well. All right, let's take it for a drive and see how it handles. I'm keen to see, now in the press release, it doesn't actually say what sort of suspension enhancement it has. It just says chassis, wheels and tires. So wider tires, they will help with handling, but yeah, what chassis enhancements? Is that just a strut tower brace or something like that? I'll try and flash up more information if I can find it. But so far driving along here, it still feels a little bit soft in my opinion. Like if you get a Toyota Supra, which is kind of a direct rival, that feels much more tighter and more tied down, whereas this has still got some comfort, or it seems like it's got a bit of effort to try and bring some comfort in there, which is kind of what the Z has always been about. It's not an outright hardcore sports car. You've got 3 different drive modes to choose from, and down here on this D mode button, Standard, Sport and Sport Plus. We'll put it in Sport Plus. None of them change the power output or anything like that. It's more about just altering the response of any of the parameters that are adjustable, such as the electronic steering, the exhaust, even artificial sound, things like that. The mapping of the throttle and the transmission just makes it more sort of sporty and ready to go. We've also got stability control, which you hold down for a couple of seconds, and then we go into a traction mode. Might just try that again. Hold it down for a good few seconds, and then we can have manual mode as well with the gear shifter. So you just pull it back again like you're going into D. Sorry about the sound of all the rocks and so on. I'm just driving down the normal road I drive down. It's like this car doesn't have sound deadening material in the wheel arches, because it's just throwing up all the rocks and it's just making a lot of noise, which I don't really experience in that many vehicles. I guess it just goes to show how hardcore this is, maybe. Good grip from these tyres. Front end bite is pretty good. Even the rear, coming down this sort of corkscrew, I guess, or this series of S-bends. Very hard on the outside front wheel. Yeah, it's gripping up nicely. So when you've got the stability control completely off, it will bounce into the rev limiter, whereas when you're just driving normal, I mean in the normal mode, it won't bounce on the rev limiter, it'll upshift itself. Yeah, down through here, the suspension's pretty good, I guess. It's not throwing me about too much, but I would like something a little bit more tied down. But in saying that, it's reasonably comfortable. Like, it's soaking up the bumps, so I've got a nice ride. One thing I didn't like about the standard Z is just the sort of laggy response, particularly from the throttle. Like, you back off on the throttle and it kind of just keeps going a little bit. And even the differential, to some degree, it's got a mechanical limited slip differential, this model, and it sort of it hooks up straight away, but then it will kind of give you this extra kick kind of after you've applied the power. It's unusual. Coming around here, plenty of traction, full power. Got a nice little dump thud sound during the upshifts. It's an interesting transmission as well. It's 9 gears, but it doesn't actually feel that that short and rapid fire. It's actually got some sort of long legs down low. Like, look at this 3rd gear and it's just stretching right out. Decent traction around there. I'm a little bit hesitant with this platform though. I'm not completely confident that I know what it's going to do next. And that's like the sort of standard Z as well. There's this kind of moment where it'll start kicking the wheel spin a little bit, or maybe even stepping it out sideways a little bit, and you didn't really expect it because it's at weird revs, like it's not at the high revs. That's full throttle, and it's hooked up really nicely, but I didn't know whether it was going to kick sideways or not. Like a Supra, where you come around there and then you jolt on the throttle, give it full power, and it kind of goes, okay, you definitely want it to spin and it will kick sideways and hold you nicely. Whereas this, it kind of comes by surprise. And then when it comes time to just cruising on the highway, I think that's where this vehicle really shines. Like, it's a great Grand Tourer, good on a long, winding, sweeping road with, you know, big bends, maybe a coastal road or something like that. It just eats up the kilometers, no problem at all. The exhaust is not too drony as well, like it's just smoothly, very faintly humming along, but I can easily hold a conversation in here, don't have to raise my voice, so it's not too hardcore, which is, yeah, both good and bad. In terms of fuel economy, I'm averaging around 11.3 litres per 100 kilometres, which I think is pretty good. For this style of vehicle with 300 kilowatts, I reckon that's not too bad. It is very easy to drive, like I can see out even through the back, and it doesn't feel too intimidating. So again, this is a great Grand Tourer if you want to go on some weekends away and so on. And yeah, overall, I think it's a cool car. It's great of Nissan to bring back some of its heritage like this and have some enthusiasm in its showroom. All right, let's head out now to the performance test and see what it goes like.